Hello, welcome back. It's me, Phil Earle, back on another Book Trust vlog, this time from the offices of DFB, David Fickling Books, and I'm delighted for a number of reasons to be talking today to a very fine writer and illustrator who is not only one of my favourite people writing graphic novels in the UK at the moment, but also my kids, because like me, my son Albie has been really struggling to find anything to read that would sort of spark his passion for reading, until a few weeks ago he sat down with this little beauty, which Neill Cameron here illustrated. This is the Pirates of Pangaea. And we were in a very odd position in that Albie sat on the sofa and didn't move for the best part of an hour and a half until he'd finished it. Yeah, and that doesn't happen ever. So something very special happened with this book, and it's interesting because that was my journey as well to reading, was largely through graphic novels. So it's brilliant to be able to talk to Neill today about his own journey to becoming an illustrator, an artist, and indeed a reader. So was it always thus with you, graphic novels? Was that the starting point? Where did the reading journey?
Well, I mean, I think they were just called comics in my day, you know, when I was a kid. But yeah, I mean, a huge part of sort of me becoming obsessed with comics and becoming a reader, I think, was just the fact that I grew up next door to a newsagent's shop, like the other half of our semi-detached house, and so I'd be the first in on Saturday morning and be first at the comics. So I'd get the Beanos, up with the Beanos, and then at some point discovered, I brought in an example, Transformers.
Good. My
favourite comic from childhood, and that was when it just clicked, and it went from, oh, this is a thing that you do, to just full-on obsession.
Okay.
Just like, it was the most exciting thing.
And that was the obsession start, was just the sheer excitement level? Yeah,
absolutely. The excitement of giant robots that turn into cars shooting each other, that's pretty tried and tested formula, you know. But also, you know, with hindsight, you can see sort of the weekly comic, the cliffhanger, the sort of exciting story being told through picture, and then it just ends on the most exciting point, and you have to come back next week to find out what was next. And I think that's such a, you know, that can't help but sort of hook you in and find
it, because that sheer tension,
that tension, and that you got that whole week then till the next one for your imagination to be running on overdrive, going, how is Optimus Prime going to get out of this? Or whatever it may be, you know. And
did you find yourself doing that? When you were waiting between weekly segments, did you find yourself writing stuff out?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's the great thing about comics, is that, you know, they lend themselves so much. Like, we would read the comic, me and my little brother, and be like, oh, that's so exciting. And so we'd immediately go on into drawing our own comic, you know, going straight into sort of drawing our own version, drawing Transformers shooting each other, or drawing our own issue of the Beano that week, or whatever it may be. There's sort of, you can have a go yourself. There's nothing, if you've got some blank paper and some pens, you can sort of dive in and just carry on it. It doesn't feel like, oh, I'm not sure I can write a novel.
Yeah, sure.
You know, but you'll have a go at drawing comics, and it's sort of,
it felt like something you could see through from start to finish.
Yeah, absolutely. And it just seemed like fun. It didn't seem like, you know, work or learning.
Okay, and I'm interested in that it's something that was very much associated with a license, with a toy license, as well. But it was really, you were saying to me earlier, it was the comics where it started for you rather than.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think, you know, I mean, I loved the Transformers when I was a kid, and I loved the cartoon that was on a Saturday morning.
Yep.
But the comic was just sort of more, just much bigger for me, and I think, I don't know, partly it's because you can reread it. You know, we didn't have videos and internet, we didn't have none of that. So you watched your 5-minute burst of Transformers cartoon on Saturday morning, and that was it. It was gone.
Yeah.
You know? But the comic, you could pore over, you could read it, you could reread it. You just became, and you know, they were great stories. You know, the work, the writer called Simon Furman, and an artist particularly Jeff Senior, who worked on these comics back in the 80s. They were making amazing, exciting, sort of grand, epic stories.
Yeah.
Based on little toys that transform into cars, which sounds silly on the face of it, but they put so much sort of work and care and just great storytelling into it that it repaid that level of attention.
The quality was there.
Yeah, absolutely.